Hello, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on when you are listening to this. My name is Vanessa Calderon Lopez, and today I'm going to share a personal experience that happened to me last semester when I was in my fifth semester and in university. Okay, let's start it. Everything started during the summer vacation and the time I had just broken up with my partner. We had been together for almost 2 years, so the breaking up after me deeply. I was feeling very sad and emotionally exhausted. I had invested a lot of time and feelings, that relationship, and suddenly everything had ended. I was not ready for the change, and it felt like a very strong emotional shock. At the same time, I was about to start my fifth semester, so everything was happening at once. While I was trying to process my emotions, I also had to prepare myself to go back to school. It was not easy at all. I was feeling lost, and I did not have the energy to focus or anything. My friends, but from my university and mutual friends that I shared with my ex-partner, had already found about the situation. They were supporting me and trying to make me feel the better, and they were telling me that everything was going to be okay and they needed to take things step by step. They reminded me that healing takes the time, and I was not alone. At home, my family has also supported me. They were trying to comfort me even though it was difficult for me to move, and I was still hurting, and sometimes I feel overwhelming my emotions. And even when I tried to stay strong, the sadness was still here. When finally started my fifth semester, my friends immediately noticed that I was not okay. I was very quiet. I neglected at the most of the time. While we were in the class or during breaks, they were trying to make me smile. They were telling me stories about their vacations, and they were sharing funny moments to distract me. Little, they were helping me forget about the situation, even if it was only for a short time. One day, something unaccepting happened, and I realized that I had not seen my friend named Manuel for a long time. He had been my classmate during the first semester when we are in the basic program together. So I decided to talk to him again. At first, our the conversation was very normal. He were talking about it, or vacations, what he was done, and how everything had been. It was a similar to conversation I was having with my other friends. Whatever. While we were talking, he noticed that I was not feeling well. He asking me if everything was okay or something happening. At the moment, I could not hold my emotions anymore. I broke it down and started crying in the front of him. I explaining everything that had happening with my ex partner and who I had been feeling since the breakup. While I was talking, we was listening carefully. He was very kind and understanding. We hugged me and told me that everything was going to be okay. He said I was not alone, that I had people around me who care about me. His word made me feel a little better. And at the moment, I really appreciated his support, and he managed to make make me smile again. After the day, things started to change slowly and began to feel a little stronger. Manuel started to visit me and at school more often. We was coming to my classroom, and we were talking of for a while during our free time. We are having a simple conversation about daily life, about school, and about random topics. Nothing feels strange at the moment. Everything seemed normal. Whatever, after some time, he started doing something different. He began to give me small letters. This letter here full of motivational message. We was telling me that I was strong, that I was could overcome anything, and that I was a brave person. His words he very kind, and they always made me smile. And every time I saw him, I'm thanking him for those letters. And this continued for about 3 weeks. During that time, I had been feeling better, little by little. Sorry, but some one point and started to notice something strange that the letters were changing. They were no longer only most emotional, they started to sound more personal, almost like he was expressing his feelings for me is rare. Very, very rare. At first, I was confused and didn't know if I was imagining things or if they was real, but the feeling was there and could not ignore this. To next day, and decided to talk to him about it. When I spoke to him, I explained what I hadn't noticed. I told him that the letters feel different and that I wanted to understand what has happening. And that wasn't when he admitted it through. We told me that he had liked me for a long time. If before all of this had happening, he said that he know now who to tell me before, and that he understood that everything was happening very fast. He knew that I had just ended a long relationship, but he still wanted to express his feelings. At the moment, I feel uncomfortable and confused. I was not really ready for something like that. I was still healing. I needed time. Then he asked me if I would like to go with me sometimes. I didn't know what to say. I was not completely sure. And so I told him maybe. I'm explaining that it had just come of a long relationship and that I needed time to think. He said that he understood and that we will respect my decisions. After that, everything seemed calm again for a while, but 2 weeks later, something happened that changed everything. One day, he sent me a message on Instagram. At that time, he had not been saying each other much because under that message, he told me something that shocked me. He said that everything had been like a social experiment. He wanted to see if I liked him, and he was trying to prove his idea. When he told me that it's very hard and very confused, I could not believe and what I was reading. I feel angry because I through he had been playing with my feelings. I have been going through a very difficult moment, and he knew that. I told him that what they had done was wrong and immature. I say that was not okay to play with someone's emotion, especially when the person was already hurting. He tried to apologize and explain himself, blah blah blah, but I was too upset to listen. I decided to block him on the uh, my social media. The next day, he was looking for me and school. He was going from the classroom to classroom until he found me. He wanted to talk and explain everything in person. At first, I didn't know want to talk to him, but eventually I agreed. We went to the hallway to have a conversation. He apologized again for everything that happened. He said that he was sorry and that he did not want to harm me. I listened, but my decision was already made. I told him that I did not want to make to have any kind a relationship with he anymore, and explaining that in these actions has been very mature and that he had hurt me, especially because he knew what I had been going through. After that, stopped talking to him completely. I kept him blockade, and even though we sometimes saw each other and the schools, we went our separate ways. That's that us was the end, and that was my story. I hope you liked my experience. Thank you for listening, and see you in another audio.